Having a pen pal is one of the most cheap and rewarding things a person can get involved with. Especially during a pandemic, it can be extremely difficult to keep in touch with people of different cultures and even some old friends who might not live as close to you. I personally struggled with this a lot during the first quarantine lockdown, and I was searching for new alternatives and ways to keep in touch with other cultures and some of my old friends, and something that I found was an amazing alternative was pen paling. Now, pen paling, it not only allows people of all ages to build long-lasting and amazing friendships, but it allows people to grow in their own personal skills while becoming more culturally aware in a very cheap and safe way. Now, when you hear pen paling, I'm sure one of the first things you think of is friendships, and that is very true. Friendships is one of the most important things when it comes to pen paling. You can form very strong friendships with people who are maybe across the world from you, and you may never meet them, but it is an amazing experience. Now, through forming these really strong connections with these people, it's really helpful to understand that some of these people probably don't have a lot of people that they get to talk to. And an example of this would maybe pen paling with people who are senior citizens or maybe even prisoners. And I know those are two groups of people where a lot of people probably wouldn't even consider pen paling, but it is kind of nice to branch off and talk to those people because they don't get a lot of people to talk to. Another example of this would definitely be talking to people in poorer countries because they're probably in a very similar situation as they are. Now, you don't only need to build connections with people who you don't know, but pen paling is also an amazing way of keeping in touch with old friends. And this is what I'm doing right now with some of my friends who are going to more distant universities. And it's a good way to get off your phone, and it's awesome. Now, while building these amazing friendships with people, you're also building upon some awesome personal skills which you will need in your day-to-day life. And the first one I'd like to talk about is patience. Now, pen paling is obviously a very time-consuming thing to do. You have to write a letter, send it in the mail, wait for the letter to get to your pen pal, and then you have to wait for them to write you back, which could take a little bit because people get busy, then they have to send it back to you. Now, it can take a few months. It can take a very long time, but when I say it's rewarding, it really is. Especially in such a fast-paced world, it's nice to sit down and have this kind of slow-moving conversation, and it helps you build a lot of patience. And the second one I'd like to talk about is creativity. In pen paling, there are many different ways you can pen pal. You can pen pal with just a letter, or you can add more to your letter, and this is called snail mail. Snail mail is when you add little gifts, decorate your letter, and send it off. And it's a really nice way to sit down and let your creative mind kind of take over and create an amazing letter, send it off, and it's almost like a gift at that point. It's not just a letter, it's like a gift you're mailing, and it's awesome. And the third one is stress relief. Pen paling can be such an amazing and stress-relieving experience, especially when it comes to patience and creativity. Stress relief takes both of those topics hand in hand, puts them together, and it really does take you away from a fast-paced world, and it lets you sit down and just have your own time and talk to a friend who's really far away, and it is very stress-relieving. Next, I'd like to talk about cultural awareness. Pen paling, it helps you build a lot of compassion for people who you obviously don't see, and it is a really nice way to talk to people who are in poorer countries from a first-person perspective because it helps you build a lot of compassion for them in ways that you may not have felt before. And it also helps with travel. Now, if you have a pen pal who you've talked to for a very long time and you very well trust them, maybe you FaceTimed and you know them well, you could maybe travel and they can benefit in maybe a cheaper form of travel, and it is also very nice. Now, pen paling, it's not only for people who are our age or senior citizens, prisoners, it could be for people who are younger as well, and it benefits them too. In this study, this was conducted from people at Clemson University. They were studying a group of 4th grade students to see if they would have benefits from pen paling, and as you see here, they did. They benefited in their value of reading, their motivation, and their overall concept of pen paling by nearly 6%, and it was really an awesome study to review. As well as this, there was another study conducted, and it talks about this in the article. I learned that there's a state called Victoria, and he has 6 blue-tongued lizards, which is a really fun article. And it's about 4th graders who pen paled with other 4th graders in Australia. They learned about the culture, animals, differences in seasons, time zones, activities and traditions, things that they probably would not have learned as easily as they did, but through pen paling. So this just goes to show that pen paling is not only for our age group, but it is beneficial for many age groups, and it's just an awesome thing to get involved in. Now, even in pen paling, there are going to be some things that you need to be aware of, and these are some very important safety measures that you should take. So before you have a pen pal, it is very important that you get to know them before you exchange addresses. And you can do this from meeting them online, FaceTiming them, make sure that you grow comfortable with them and that you are comfortable with becoming friends, international friends, whatever that is. Also, you can get a P.O. box, which is an alternative to your address, which is also really nice. So you don't have to give your address away, but you can give your P.O. box number away. And money, never send money to any pen pal because you never know truly what they're going to use the money for, and they may keep asking and asking for money. But even with all of these cons, pen paling has way too many benefits to even not consider it. It may not be for everyone, but with the personal benefits, the connections that you may earn, it is just such an amazing experience that everyone should get involved with, and I really hope you all give it a shot after this presentation.